everyone, welcome to qualifying 2 of the 5th round of the FIA World Rallycross Championships, and we're coming to you live from a very sunny, a very hot Norway. Welcome to hell. We've had an absolute cracker of a morning so far. If you missed Q1, where on earth were you? It was pure chaos, carnage and everything in between. We are going to be live, of course, for all of our qualifying sessions from this round for you. Live all afternoon with RX2, Euro RX and indeed World RX racing as well. And of course live for Q3 and Q4, plus the finals and semi-finals wherever you are in the world as well tomorrow. Now Q1, we were talking about that of course. This is Andreas Backerud's track. He's on home soil here. But after 6 weeks out with an appendicitis, his first race back in a world supercar, it was Niklas Gronholm who topped the standings after Q1. An absolutely astonishing performance from him. Quickest by just about 2 seconds or so. Come with me. We're going to go in here now and see if we can find the man himself. And here he is, right next to his car. Niklas, grab a quick chat with you, if I may. Yep. Your first ever qualifying win, and it comes off the back of 6+ weeks out with an appendicitis. A very tough 6 weeks, I can imagine. How happy are you with your form here?
Yeah, of course, it's nice to start the weekend like this. It's been a tough 6 weeks. Honestly, my expectations weren't that high. I knew I had a small shakedown this week, but so I knew that more or less everything is possible, but not maybe expecting this good. So yeah, I'm happy.
And how much more speed can we expect from you? Where can you see moments in that race where you could have pushed on, where perhaps you made a mistake, there's more time to eke out?
Difficult to say. I made one mistake, one clear mistake on lap 1 in turn 5 down the hill. I went really wide, but other than that, it's really small details, I think, from my side. So it will be tough to do a better time, but after all, I don't need to, as long as I win my race, and you know. So yeah, that's the goal, to win my heat race and see if the time is enough against the other guys.
Have you reset your ambitions now as well? You came in with not very high expectations, you admit yourself. You've just come out top qualifier from Q1, your first ever. Do you now think a little bit more might be possible here?
No, I take it race by race, and let's see where we end up. But for sure, it's important to get to 4 good qualifyings, and yeah, in the semi-final and final, everything can happen. So, but yeah, my mindset is the same than coming here. So yeah, nothing has changed.
Thank you very much. Well done this morning. Best of luck to you as well. Qualifying 2 not far away. So let's say hello to the commentators who will be taking you through all the action. That is Dan Rook and Andrew Coley.
Hi Laura, thanks very much. Yeah, looking forward to this. We've had a little break in between the 2 sessions. Gronholm, astonishing. Yeah, at the time we were all like, wow, 6 weeks out he's come back, he won. What we'd forgotten was actually that was the first ever qualifying heat win for him. So I mean that's a hell of an achievement aside from the illness.
Yeah, so for him to come in and well top whatever what he's done before after that time out, it's fantastic for him, and it's going to be such a big confidence boost as well. Of course, he said he didn't know where he was sort of sitting. He only had a small shakedown before he came here. And, well, looks like that was all he needed.
Well, he actually had a shakedown before Silverstone and was going to come back, but then he had another complication. So he's been so unlucky. Great to see him back and great to see he's on full pace. Now, if you missed the action earlier on, take a look at this. This is a look back at Q1. So this was the first race of the day. Brilliant tactics by Timo Scheider. He runs both Anton Markland and Kevin Hansen wide in turn 1. You're on board with Hansen here. That's up the link road that Liam Doran nearly crashed in crashed heavily in last year or the year before. Scheider from there can take the win. No difficulties at all, Dan. Just absolutely brilliant tactics basically by them.
Yeah, really solid stuff, and making everybody go to the Joker lap, so they had to pass him on track.
This was on to race 2. Timur Timosyanov, so backwards on the standard line here. You can see Timur and Liam have gone up towards the Joker. Here they are from the outside. Liam brilliantly rotates the car, but watch this, just tags the bank, nose goes in, and the Russians in front. So him versus Backward then. Timur set a fastest lap. Oh, sorry, Backward set one, didn't he? And then Timur set one. It was so close.
Yeah, super close. And I mean, I think if it wasn't for the little bit of a tussle there in the Joker lap, then I think Timosyanov would have been a lot closer on the merge. But Timmer, and of course, we know Niklas as well was top. The Hyundais are looking quick here.
So Timmer's Yarnov here coming out behind us. Dan said if he hadn't had that tussle with Liam, I reckon he would have got him, and that would have put him up into P2, so it would have been a 1-2 for GRX. You can see he was hustling all the way to the line. On to race 3. So this was Gronholm's run. You've already heard from Niklas. Gets a little tag from Sabo. We ride on board with Sabo next. You'll see it from his angle. So here is where I think Sabo should have gone joking down. He changed his mind, and this is what happened.
Yeah, he already had to be on the brakes to tuck in behind Niklas, and then got stuck behind Yanni Parsonen. So it wasn't ideal for him. Not the best of races for Sabo as he finds himself down the order. But of course, Niklas had no problems.
Kevin Abbring behind him doing fantastic well. Kevin on a real flyer in the ES Motorsport Skoda. Gronholm setting the fastest time, but we still had Timmy Hansen to come. So this was contact. Balmanis into Timmy Hansen. Huge impact at high speed. Here it is again. Boom. Breaks the rear suspension on Balmanis' car, but takes poor old Guillaume de Ridder out. Felt sorry for de Ridder for that. Reprimand for Balmanis for turning in across Hansen in turn 1. It's his birthday. That's not really how he wanted to spend his birthday, but hopefully he'll recover from that. Timmy went on to make a couple of mistakes on the previous lap to this. Then he runs wide, tries to do what Liam did, rotate the car around, clips the bank on the outside. On the way in, he clips the bank on the outside on the way out. Net result of that was a loss of about 4 seconds. So Timmy Hansen ended up finishing the session in 4th. So Gronholm takes his first ever qualifying session win with Q1 here, Norway 2019. Backward, the Norwegian racing at home P2. Timmer's Yarnov third, could have been second maybe without that tussle with Liam. Timmy Hansen should have been higher, a few mistakes from him, and of course he was unlucky with that car being stuck in the Joker. But brilliant performance by Kevin Abbring, who is in 5th place, Scheider 6th, Bakuska 7th, Markland 8th. And we could just see who's inside. So Doran's 9th again, he could maybe have gone quicker. Then we've got Kevin Hansen, Cyril Raymond and Yanni Parson are your top 12. But we mentioned Kevin Abbring, great performance. Laura's with him now.
Thanks very much, guys. Yes, I've been buzzing about the paddock and thought I'd come over to chat to Kevin Abbring after that brilliant race. Of course, a rally driver, you know how to drive a car, but this is rallycross. You're in a world supercar and you've got drivers either side of you. What was that experience like for you this morning?
Well, I wish it was a race, but it's only Q1. But it's definitely not what we expected after our Q1 draw. Coming from the outside, I think the strategy was right, and then it was just up to me to get used to everything. And well, the car felt pretty good. It's me who has to improve in Sector 2. But I had Gronholm in front of me, so I could obviously see what he was doing. At least I tried. I only lost, I think, 2 seconds at the start. Really sneak in on the inside. So if you look at that, then I think we didn't do bad at all. Pretty good, actually. But as I said, it's only the beginning.
Yeah, P5, we have qualifying 2 to come. What are your expectations for this afternoon? I mean, on paper, you've got nothing to lose here.
Not really, but if you are P5, you obviously want to do at least P5 or better, which we know is not going to be easy. I think we belong somewhere between this place and P8 maybe. So obviously the aim is to keep our position. We will be in the heat, or we will be in the heat with all fast drivers, so I should follow the fastest one and hope to stay in the rear bumper and then see. But expectations will be fine, weather will be pretty similar, so now it's up to me to deliver.
Yeah, we shall see indeed. Thank you very much to you, Kevin. Well, a brilliant start. Much to come then for qualifying 2. We've got RX2, Euro RX and the World RX all to come for you with our commentators Dan and Andrew.
Yeah, great start there for Kevin Abbring, and what he's mentioned about following Gronholm's interesting. With P5, he's going to be in with the 4 fastest guys, so he can't really lose if he follows the quick guys. You know, the learning curve continues.
Yeah, exactly, and having that person to follow and tow you around, you pick up on all their lines, their braking points, how they handle the car. So everything that the guys do in front of you, he can learn from and put it into his own driving.
So great stuff for Abbring. He's going to continue to learn at the highest level. World Championship, pretty decent place to debut in Rallycross. RX2, of course, is where a lot of drivers are going to debut. So the RX2 guys are down on the grid now. In this one, we've got Vasily Gryazin in on the outside, who gave us the most spectacular start to a qualifying session we've ever had, even to a weekend. So you can see this one is Morten Asklund, Albert Lavera, Steven Volders and Vasily Gryazin. The red car, which was on its roof in the wall outside turn 1. Somehow he still finished the race, and we had to go right up to level 11, 100 metres into the first one. So let's see if we can keep it clean this time. Hold Asklund on the inside with a bit of wheel spin, but's got away nicely. Volders moves across on Lavera, and Gryazin giving everyone a fair old bit of room there. So Gryazin's going to try and go around the outside of Volders. Volders gets in his door and just pushes him wide. Volders takes the pace, but this time safely through turn 1, Dan, and you can see a pretty safe approach to turn 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And well, fair enough to Gryazin. I'm sure it was a bit of a spook to start your weekend off, you know, just trying to cut yourself to the joker and getting caught up and rolling. So giving himself that clear room then, and then we can see they've watered the track again now. So
he's going to get Volders here. Volders ran wide into the loose, doesn't quite manage it.
But yeah, so that might well be due to the track being watered. So these guys are going out with a different grip level to what they had when they were out in Q1. So everything's changing for these guys, and that's the beauty of rallycross. You've got to be able to adapt your driving to whatever is underneath your wheels.
Yeah, it was interesting last weekend in the States talking to Sage Karam, who moved across from IndyCar to ARX2 over there, and he said he couldn't believe how much every race was different. Like the track would get a hole in it or not a hole in it, or it would be watered or not watered, or dusty and you couldn't see, and he was blown away by it. But I think as a driver, that adaptability is what makes you a great rallycross driver. You know, it's got to be done. He's all over him here, he really is. Gryazin desperate to find a way past Volders.
Yeah, we saw pace from Gryazin, even though he rolled his car, his lap times were there. So we know he's a fast driver and it suited to this track. And varied lines, we've seen him do a different line on seemingly every corner to try and find a way past Volders, but he just cannot find the door.
He can't, and Asklund and Lavera are getting a fairly decent lead here. Lavera's doing nicely in P2. He's won 2 seconds off, so he lost 2/10 that last sector. You can see Lavera at the bottom of the hill in that shot, and Asklund will be exiting the hairpin about now. So those guys are going to joke from this last lap. Look at Gryazin, he's sideways, isn't he? He's inside out, so he's trying everything, but it's not going to work. Hard to pass here, I think, Dan. Yeah,
very hard, and especially now they've watered it as well. It's very much a single file line through the dirt sections, as you can see from the lines that they're taking. And if you go off of that line, you're into some really thick gravel, and that just hampers you.
Asklund into the joker, Lavera goes as well. Asklund runs a bit wide, Lavera possibly on a nicer line, but he's going to lose more because he hasn't got quite the margin. Lavera slots in just behind Gryazin. It's a good drive by the Andorran. Gryazin going to be a bit disappointed not to have held on in turn 1 because Volders just stuck it up his inside in the joker. Can he get him on the exit here? It's early on the throttle, he runs wide, he's got to watch out now, he's got Lavera right behind him. But Asklund has done a good job here, the Norwegian. First time we've seen him in RX2 this year. Heading up to take the checker flag. So Morten Asklund stops the clocks with a 2:59.6. That would have been around where he finished last time. Would have seen him in P11, and he finished P11 last time. So we'll have to see what the conditions are like for the rest of the drivers. Takes his first race from Volders, Gryazin and Lavera. Still nice to get a heat race win at home, Dan.
Yeah, 100%. Of course, he's going to be. That's going to be positive for him.
Yeah, all fired up. So Morten Asklund, the Norwegian, wins at home in hell.
Morten, well done. Just breathing out a sigh of relief there. How was it out on the track for you?
Oh, it was a very good race for me now. Because actually I felt like I could handle the car a little bit better than last time. And I felt that we had much more speed. And I'm... it felt so good. Perfect.
Perfect, there you go. Well done, thank you.
Thank you.
This is Asklund on the inside here. Watch Gryazin. Gryazin gives plenty of room, but it's Volders. Look, Volders is your danger man here. Plenty of room for Gryazin. Didn't give too... No, I wouldn't say he did give too much room. Looking at his line in, but Volders was just late and sort of pushed through. Nicely done.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe if Gryazin leaned on him a little bit more, it could have pressured Volders into maybe running a bit deep on the brakes on the way in. Just having that bit of rubbing into a corner could just really unsettle your focus.
But I guess his focus Williams himself was unsettled from Q1 and unwilling to take that risk.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to be a bit shaken up by that. Although, you know, every race driver should be able to bounce back, and well, he did bounce back. He drove the car straight away in Q1. But yeah, he's just going to be a little bit wary now off the start.
So Askland takes race 1. Said he felt faster. In fact, he's pretty much identical pace to before. But again, Dan, that can be in a driver's head, can't it? A good feeling in the car. I mean, he might feel on top of the car, but he hasn't necessarily got any faster. No,
he might just be feeling that little bit more comfortable driving it. We've not seen him out this year, so you don't know what sort of driving he's done before now.
Walfridsson on the inside, Petter Leerhol next to him, the Norwegian. So we've got another home interest, Sami Matti Trogan, Marcus Hogland and Anders Michelak. A good start, Trogan in the middle of the grid, but then immediately gets squeezed. He can go nowhere from there. 5 passengers if you're not careful. Trogan does well to duck out of that. Michelak goes Joker. So Michelak's got Joker on his inside is Hogland. Hogland pushes Michelak wide, and Michelak lost out last time, didn't he, the Joker? He's lost out again.
Yeah, so Hogland there on his inside, and we see Sami Matti Trogan really fighting for position. He was probably the worst off in that start, and he's diving up the inside.
Petter Leerhol getting pushed wide by Trogan. Trogan's being very forceful, but Leerhol's hard on the gas around the outside. Trogan slots in. We saw Jimmy Hansen hit that wall at the bottom in a similar incident last year, maybe the year before. Huge amount of damage on the car. So he did the right thing to duck out of that, but he'll be frustrated when he's been P4, I think, every round this year so far. He's been 4th 3 times, Trogan has, so desperate to go one step better. And where was he in Q1? Trogan was 8, so he'd like to have done something more here. Well, Leerhol with a great Joker.
Yeah, really tidy around there, but...
going to get Michelak. Michelak just has to back it in to avoid him.
Good job there by Michelak. I think it was a good call from his spotter saying, give room, give room.
Yeah,
he was about to close the gap, but then backed out of it. So a good effort by him to avoid some serious contact there.
Nice car control as well on the transition from gravel to tarmac. And where the gravel is on top of the tarmac, it's worse than gravel on gravel, isn't it?
Yeah, you're basically driving on marbles. You're trying to brake on top of this gravel, and the gravel then moves underneath you. So it's so easy to lock the car up and just go sailing on.
Joke lap this time from Walfridsson. Walfridsson comes out behind. So loses in place to Hogland. Sami Matti Trogan, the only driver not to have joked, and I think after that start he's got clear air in front. But I'm not convinced he's going to be able to make up the time, Dan.
No, he lost out so much, getting a big squeeze from everyone else on the grid, and then having to back out, and then got stuck behind traffic. And well, the gap back is 2.9 seconds, which isn't going to be enough for Sami Matti to hold his lead.
Hogland quite wild over the left-hander over the crest and again into the hairpin, but I don't think it'll be enough. So Sami Matti might get 3rd here if he's quick on the gas. Going to have to watch it at the exit. It's going to be close. But he gets out just in front. So nicely done. Sami Matti Trogan rescues this race. He was P5 once he backed out of that pack, but I actually think he did well, Dan. Once you're squeezed between 2 cars like that, you don't really have a lot of choice over anything that's going to happen. You know, you get released, don't you, rather than choosing where you're going to go.
No, you just effectively become a passenger because you get towed around by everybody else that's squeezing in on you.
And even things like brakes, you know, if you're fully hooked up in another car and you get dragged along by it, it's not really a lot you can do.
No, even your brakes become ineffective.
Hogland's going to take it from Walfridsson and Trogan. We'll have a look back at that start in a minute and see how Trogan did manage to get out. Hogland takes it 2:58.1 from Walfridsson, Sami Matti, Trogan, Leerhol and Michelak. Slot them in. Look, Askland ends up P3. So that's going to be a better result than last time, because Askland was 11th last time. We've only got 1 race to go, so in theory the lowest that Askland can be is 8. So he's done better in comparison to the rest of the group, certainly, even if he wasn't quicker himself. And yeah, to be fair, the others haven't gone as fast as they went last time, so nicely done.
Well, a great race. Win here in qualifying 2 for you in your race. How was it from the driver's seat?
Yes, it's tight in the first corner, but I go for the Joker. I hope it's a good fight with Michelak, but now I'm a little angry. So now it's all in, and I go for it.
And where do you think that you can make up some speed, make up some time?
I think it's in the last corner, the 2 last corner. I think it's very important to come close to the whole. Everything is so tight into the yes.
All right. Well, that's better luck for Q3. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, good job there, Marcus Hogland. I know what he meant. He was basically saying he's got to be tidy through the last couple of corners, and that's a language barrier, and we really appreciate these guys taking the time to talk to us in English. We are, after all, in Norway. We're lucky, Dan, aren't we, that basically the international language of commentary is English, because I don't speak much Norwegian.
I don't speak any foreign language.
We're terrible, I'm afraid. English people are terrible. You know that at home. If you're not an English person, you know what terrible people we are. So here's the squeeze look on Trogan. And I say, it was very wise to pull out of that, even though it meant he was P5 at this point. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah, and it could have risked him being put in the wall if he hadn't, backed out when he did, because it would have just ended up in carnage. This is him trying to get at the inside of Leohold, but then again choosing to back out rather than being put in the wall. So a very mature and sensible drive here from Sami Trogan. Obviously not the speed that he would have wanted to have shown, but it's damage limitation. He's keeping himself out of the trouble and getting himself the points he needs.
This was that joker later in the race. Wonder if he could have picked the throttle up slightly earlier. The car was sideways, wasn't it, just at the apex? But it wouldn't have gained him another position. And to be fair, it was a safe merge anyway. So Sami Trogan slots himself into third, but it was Hogland who took the win, and it's Hogland who leads with 1 race to go in RX2. So last race of Q2 for these guys. All the quick drivers are in this one. On the inside, Ben Philip Gundersen, the winner of Q1. Ollie Eriksson next to him. And it's Kallio, Fraser McConnell off that win in the States, and Simon Olofsson. Eriksson took a clean sweep of the qualifying sessions last time in the UK. Gets a good start here. He's going to go joker with McConnell. Gundersen and Olofsson go with Kallio to the standard lap. I think it's Gundersen leading Kallio. They're so similar, their liveries. It is indeed Kallio slots into second. They actually drive for different teams, Gundersen and Kallio.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to ask them to change something slightly on their cars.
I was convinced they were both with MC, and they're not, of course. So it's one with and then another with JC. Can't remember. But yeah, look at that. You basically, they've gone away over the winter and chosen their liveries, and then come back and gone, no! I hadn't realised it was going to be quite so similar. So Gundersen leading from Kallio. Now, Dan, do they respond to the fact that Eriksson's gone? And in fact, Eriksson's caught up with Olofsson already, so no, maybe not. And Olofsson has actually released them. So if Olofsson had gone on out there and helped the others out, he runs wide into the bank. So I spoke to Simon yesterday. We do a little press conference for RX2, which goes on their social media page, which is basically a kind of a three-way interview out on the track. And Olofsson, I think, is frustrated that he blows hot and cold.
Yeah, it is a shame for him that he's not quite so consistent, because when he's fast, when he's on his good days, he is fast. He is right up there. And I remember competing with him the first round. He went out and he was the guy to beat. Me and myself and Cyril Raymond couldn't touch him. Then he had a bad run in the final with a puncher, and from there it was almost like his confidence got knocked.
Kallio's gone joker. This is surely to cover Eriksson behind. He's hard on the gas on the exit. Eriksson's got him already, and so's McConnell. Going to be tight between him and McConnell, but McConnell is in front. So now it's going to come down to whether or not Gundersen can get it done. Olofsson is a little way off the back of that train. Olofsson joking on that lap too. So what are you thinking, Dan?
Just looking at the lap times between Oliver Eriksson, Fraser McConnell and Jesse Kallio, all on that last lap set a 42.0, and they're all separated by a couple hundredths of a tenth, but Ben Philip Gundersen was a 41.9, so Gundersen's actually showing some super pace here that maybe he could be able to take it to Oliver Eriksson.
Gundersen goes to the joker lap now. Eriksson on the standard lap. Watch for the merge here. Gundersen's going to try and get it. Eriksson's got him. I think he's going to get P2. Should get up the inside, and McConnell he does. You can't can't help, every time he does well, I can't help but think back to that annoying mistake in Spain, but that's the way it goes. He's got, you know, he's hoping to do a better job than I am, Dan, of moving on from that, you know?
Yeah, so he knows he's got points to be trying to make up, and of course RX2 is a super competitive field, so it's going to be really hard for him to be able to make up those points, but he is doing a good job, and he's showing he has speed.
Ericsson's going to destroy the time that was at the top of the table. There you go. 3.7 seconds faster than Hogland. Ericsson goes, and in fact Hogland was on a 2:58.1. So I think a few people are going to go in front of him. They are indeed. He's going to drop down to P5. So still a good result for Hogland. But Ericsson, Gundersen, McConnell and Kallio, the top four here. Gundersen is in P6 in the championship. The other three lads are our top three. So they have all gone in front of Hogland. But Ericsson, back where he's been for most of the year, he's at the top of Q2.
Oliver, just before you take your helmet off, we'll chat to you. You did that relatively the hard way. Did you know you had the pace on that final lap to beat Gundersen?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Q1 we had a slow track. They watered it before, so he got me there by 2:10. So I knew that if I got a clean run to some clean air, I could beat him. And fortunately, he waited to the last lap, so I could build the speed and get to him. And it was enough in the end, so I felt good.
Well done. Best of luck for Q3 tomorrow.
Sorry about the sound there on the interview. We'll get that sorted. Interesting what you said. I was glad he waited till the last lap, and that's what I feel about responding. The Backer and Hansen thing in Silverstone. Don't give the other guy any extra laps to edge you.
Yeah, so if the guy in front of you or the guy behind you goes on the Joker lap, you need to respond a lap later just so that you can cover them off. Otherwise, they've got that bit of clear air in front of them that they need. And if you give them more than one lap, then it could just well be the case that they're able to do it.
Yeah, so it didn't work out this time for Gundersen, but still, I mean, you know, P2's no bad result, especially having won the first one. So Gundersen and Ericsson will be equal on qualifying points, but I think because Ericsson has taken Q2, it'll be Ericsson who's at the top of the table. So great drive by a championship leader. And there it is, 1 win and 1 second place each. Ericsson tops the standings from Gundersen and McConnell. Then it's Kallio, Wilfredson, Hogland, Trogan and Olofsson, your top 8. At the minute, Askland, Learhol, Volders and Michalak will make it. So Gryazin and Lavera are the two who are going to miss out unless they can up their game a little bit on the way into day 2. So that's Q2 done for RX2. Dan, a good day's work for them, but we've got a load more racing still to come, and it's on to Euro Supercar now.
Yeah, so we've seen some super impressive stuff by the guys in the European Championship. Thomas Brinton, I believe it was it coming out at top? Yes, yeah. Thomas Brinton. So
with Evgen P2, in fact. So that was good. And Larson down to third. I mean, Larson was clearly unhappy and will be looking to make amends, but best of all, we're going to see them in the last race with Tiedemann and De Borg as well, so we're in for a great session. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's fantastic to see those two younger guys coming up and stamping a mark in the supercar class.
Yeah, great stuff. Guys that Dan used to race, of course, in RX2. Barbosa heads around to the grid. Now, Dan, actually, while we talk about you and used to race, we're hoping Dan will race again at some point. Not because we don't love having him in the commentary box. He does a great job. But unfortunately, everyone who's in the commentary box, including myself, would rather be out on the grid. And Dan, there's a car there that you were out in the grid. And in fact, that car's got a fair bit of history. Barbosa on the outside here. We've got a lot of history with this car.
Yeah, so Barbosa there on the pole. He is in the car that I used in 2016 to win the British Rallycross Championship, and that car was then used the following year by Nathan Heathcote, and that also then won the British Championship. But it was also used by Andreas Bakkerud in 2013 when he was running with LD Motorsport.
Was indeed. That was the last time that Liam and Andreas were teammates together. I met Andreas off the back of his Super 1600 results. He was moving up. He was at Lydden Hill, and I met him down there. I found the picture the other day. He looks a lot younger. I'm afraid I don't look any better at all. But, you know, they're all young guys, and he was in that car that year, and of course he did brilliantly, did he? I think he won Lowiak and Hollius, didn't he? So he did a fantastic job in his debut year in the supercar. And since then, Barbosa has bought it, so he's got a Chatter car which has won a couple of European events and won 2 British Championships. What can he do with it here? He's next to Stein Egel Jensen, Ola Christian Temte and Mandy August, who retired in in the last one. She had 2 offs, one caused by contact with Larson and one, we think, from a mistake, but not sure. Good start. Ola Christian Temte surely going to move across the inside. Barbosa's having contact in the background. Ola Christian goes straight to the Joker lap. So I saw Ola Christian Temte this morning, and he said to me, Mandy August gets him at the exit. He said he came within an ace of retiring from the sport. He's a proper privateer, Dan. He built his own cars, and it's hard work.
It is. It's very hard work, and you know, these supercars practically need rebuilding after every event. They go through that much reprep, and the money it costs as well to maintain them. Like, they have to take the clutches out of these cars after every race to make sure they have the right thickness in them. They have to re-shim them if they're not. So that it comes down to that every time these guys are on track. Yeah,
it's a lot of work. So it's great to see him here. He said that he was really enjoying racing with us again because of the atmosphere. And admittedly, he's at the back of the pack, but I know he'll have a big smile on his face. He was smiling this morning at pre-grid, so good to have him along with us. So Ola Christian and Mandy August have both joked already, and Mandy August now going about catching up with Steinegel Jensen, who's here in the white Fiesta. Mandy August is already there, but has now either got to find a way past or hope that Steinegel Jensen goes Joker on this lap. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, Mandy August made it through to the semi-finals last time out in the UK. Let me have a look at the results. Yeah, she did. Qualified 10th. Needs to find a way past. Go on. So Mandy August looking for a way through. Does want Steinegel Jensen to hold her up, and he goes standard lap. Shows Joker last minute. So Mandy August looking to try and take the win here. Comes out in front of Barbosa. Well done. So that's worked out, Dan, and that's one of those things where everything is out of her control there at that point. If Jensen stayed out for one more lap, she probably would have ended up behind, and you can't do anything about that.
No, exactly. And but Mandy choosing to do a Joker lap early, and then unfortunately, in terms of the race time, she would have been affected by the traffic. But in terms of this particular race result, it's worked out for her, and she's managed to get herself out in front.
Mandy August over the jump. Got a lap to go. Through that bumpy braking zone into turn 1, you can hear the Cooper tyres protesting through there, and then Dan, that you said about this next corner is completely blind.
Yeah, the drivers sit really low in the cars, mainly for the weight distribution. But when you come up to that left-hand corner, you're sat so low that you're effectively dropping down a corner that you can't see.
Mandy there sideways as she comes around through that bottom corner at the bottom of the hill, out in the loose stuff. Doing a tidy job of getting the car to the finish. Nicely done. Big send around the last corner, takes the checker flag. 250.1. What did Mandy do last time? That would have sent her up in P12 last time. So P12 or P13 last time. So, and that was a DNF, of course, in the first one. So I'd be hoping that's enough to drag her up towards the semi-finals. Maria Barbosa in Dan Rook's old car P2. Steinegel Jensen and Ola Christian Temte.
Mandy, hello. Trouble for you at Silverstone last time round. You must be very pleased with what you've just done out there.
Yeah, I'm happy. So that's my hit. I win. Yes. I don't know.
Happy for you though?
Yes.
Well done. Congratulations. Best of luck for tomorrow.
Oh, all smiles and thank yous as well. Lovely. Well done, Mandy August. Great bit of driving, nice tactics as well. Dan, this was really the moment that she wanted, is when she got Temte in contact again. In fact, wasn't it? Steinegel Jensen had contact last time in the run to the first corner, but August got Ola Christian on the exit, and that was absolutely critical.
Yeah, lucky for her. Obviously, she was on the outside of the grid on the way into the Joker lap, and then able to get the undercut back on Ola Christian Temte to get herself the space that she needed to get out in front. But
I think possibly lost a little bit of time here. It's interesting to me that Steinegel Jensen looked like it's going to go standard lap and then suddenly accelerated to the Joker, so would have lost time themselves there.
Yeah, and it would have, of course, backed Mandy up a bit more, but luckily she was still able to get out in front of Barbosa when he merged from the Joker.
Well done, Mandy August. First win of Q2 for Euro RX Supercar. That's the view down the valley. It is lovely here. It's quite a pleasant temperature, I have to say. It's not too hot in hell.
16.7 degrees Celsius, to be precise.
Dan just held a finger in the air to guess that. He didn't actually. It's written on the timing screen in front of us, but there you go.
Don't reveal my secrets, Andrew.
Yes, sorry, mate. Look at all the fans very neatly parked up on the hill. So that used to be a bit more ramshackle where they sat, but I'm sure they've... Well, certainly the new grandstand under the Monster Energy rig. That's an addition from last year. You can see the backer of blues across the back. This one we've got Ikonen, Kurai, Ostring, Fujic and Moser. So these guys, I think it's fair to say, have varied in terms of their consistency. You'd probably go with Ikonen or Kurai, I think, if you were gonna bet on one of them, just based. But that's partly based on how often we've seen them. Kurai did well, didn't he, last time? I'm sure. Where did he come last time?
He had a
session, didn't he?
He had a session win in Silverstone.
So it was, qualified 6th, in fact, Tamas Kurai. So we'll be hoping more of the same here. Don't worry, that's not coming in to stretcher anyone out. It does have a stretcher on the side of it. That's for a helicopter ride, if you fancy it. A good helicopter ride, not a bad helicopter ride. So 5 cars on the grid about to get released. Marshall's finally giving them the thumbs up. So look, if you're sitting in those seats behind the start there, it is proper fingers in your ears. You might even see it sometimes. You'll see people put their hands up to their ears. No, not these fans, they're hardcore. Ikonen on the inside and Kurai with the best starts. Pretty much what we thought would happen. I think Kurai will go joker, but he doesn't. Kurai shuts the door, contact on the outside. I think it's, is it Fujic? It is, I think, who's gone around there first of all. And following Fujic through is Attila Moser. So Fujic and Moser go through the joker. Everyone else on the standard lap. I thought Kurai, the way that the attitude of the car, I thought he was going joker, but he didn't.
Yeah, I think he made a bit of a last-minute decision there, but I also think there was a bit of contact with Fujic and Kurai on the way into the joker. If you look closely, you can see there's some blue smoke coming out the back of Kurai's car, maybe from his rear left. It doesn't look like it's too much damage.
No, you can see it there.
Yeah, so there was a bit of contact there, but it doesn't seem to be bothering him too much. But he did run wide on the way into turn 1, so it was a last-minute decision to get him on the standard lap as opposed to the joker.
Kurai into the downhill left-hander, and Ikonen chasing too, so the time to beat is that of Andy August. Cleaning up down the bottom of the track's holding up well at the bottom end of the course.
Yeah, we're starting to see it dry out, but thankfully there's not the holes that we saw at the end of Q1, but they've got some massive machinery here, haven't they? They've been out repairing the track in between the runs, and hopefully it's going to be able to hold up for the World Rallycross boys that are coming up after this.
Got a big car count here. We're going to have an even bigger one in Hollius in a few weeks' time. Massive entries across all the classes. A couple of very popular events. Scandinavia, of course, pretty much the heartland of the sport. Great to be up in Norway and Sweden. Of course, we're coming back for Latvia later in the year as well. So Kurai, the only driver not to a joker, going to go now. Ikonen's 5.8 off the back. He'd have to fancy his chances.
Yeah, I think Kurai is going to be doing well here. But you can see there's so much tyre smoke off the back of his car. I don't know whether he's just getting really heavy on the throttle on the way up the hill, or if there is actually damage there.
Smooth, tidy line in, a little bit of handbrake, a little bit late on the exit for me, Dan. My goodness me, you don't get any closer than that without taking paint off, do you?
No, a little bit too late on the rotation there, as he missed the braking point on the way in there as well, hitting a bump and just shooting his car on. But yeah, a little bit too late on the rotation in the joker lap, and that just cost him and made him run wide.
And then a mistake, as Dan said, on the braking zone for the next corner. So 2 mistakes on the last lap. Shouldn't cost him too much time. Coming through. Smoke pours off the rear wheels. He crosses the line. Kurai has done a 2:47.1. So that is a couple of seconds quicker than he went in the last session. Be enough to see him up in about P8. So he's quicker than Mandy August by 3 seconds. Look. Kurai takes it from Ikonen, Hans-Göran Ostrang, Alex Fujic and Attila Moser. Karai and Ekelund go to the top of the table. Mandy August holding on to third at the moment, but that is a good win for Tamas Karai.
I remember from last time speaking to Tamas that his English is not the best, so we'll ask a simple question. How was it? Are you happy?
Thank you very much. I am very happy.
Perfect, that's all we need. Thank you, well done.
That is all we need, to be fair. Big grin. Loving it. Clean start for him, and that's a better result. Down, say he got that session when he got on. Yeah, that was the contact you were talking about. Yeah, it was a little bit, wasn't it? I think Fucik was going to go right, wasn't he? Glanced off Karai and had to go Joker.
Yeah, so, but you can see there's quite a bit of quite a hard contact. It was enough to really dent the front of Fucik's car. But, well, it seems like the back of Thomas Karai's car is pretty strong, doesn't it?
It does indeed. More consistent results from Tamas this year. Qualifying 6th in the UK. Look at that. Loves a send, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. He's one of our big flare, like sideways drivers, and it's fantastic to see. And well, it's definitely paid off for him in this race as he went on and took the win.
Should be giving out bonus points for flair, I think. If you get like the fan vote at home, don't you think you should get extra qualifying points for sending it, basically? Be a good way to see people move up, wouldn't it? After a bad session, they could go out and set a good time, but with a bit of extra send. Bit of love from you guys at home. Let us know where you're watching from. Who do you think is going to win, particularly World RX? Nicholas Gronholm's won a session. Baccarid's racing at home. Timmins Yarnov may have been P2 if he hadn't had that fight with Doran. Timmy Hansen had a problem in Q1. It's wide open. So who do you think is going to win World RX from Norway? Who do you think is going to win Euros? You'd have to have Lars as one of your favourites, but Brinterson's looking quick, and so Sondre Evjen. This one then, Andrea de Boer, René Munich, Peter Hedstrom, Alexander Wahl, and Lucas Walfridsson on the outside. Great start by Hedstrom in the middle of the grid, edges everyone down towards the first corner. And goes Joker with Walfridsson, very defensive.
Yeah, super defensive there, hugging the inside line, making sure Walfridsson can, cut underneath him on the way in or try and push him wide. But interesting for him to go to the Joker. He clearly won the start, but chose to go there. I mean, this corner, this track is hard when it comes to the first corner Joker. You kind of have to make a plan with your spotter before the race, unlike when you go to other tracks, because it's so fast to be able to call whether to go in the Joker or not. So you have to come to this track with a plan of what you're going to do in turn one.
Why? Because the entry speeds are so different between the two corners?
Because the speed you carry off of the start line, and then when you get to the braking point, and obviously the spotter wants to make the call depending on what other people are doing, but you don't know what other people are doing until they brake or not. So you kind of just have to hope that you're going to have a good line into the Joker lap, and it's too late to have a late call because of the speed you carry off the start.
Lucky Dan raced here himself. I can remember when Baccarid made a move, didn't he, off the start in one of the semi-finals. I think, did he push Solberg into the Joker from the pole? Great move by him. Borg and Wahl having a nice fight here for the lead. Hedstrom, though, having Joker, will be closing them down. In fact, Hedstrom nearly on the back of the pack already, looking at it. But yeah, you can force people into the Joker, can't you? So if you know you haven't got the pace to win, and that occasion, I think Baccarid knew he couldn't beat the Polo, didn't he? So he pushed them wide into the Joker on purpose and took the win.
Yeah, he went on to take the win, and well, he allowed two other guys to come up through as well. I think it was Scheider and Kevin Hansen at the time. Allowed them to get up past Petter as well, which meant Petter didn't make the final because he was P4 come the end of it because Andreas pushed him in the Joker. So it was a fantastic tactic by the guys there to
synchronised drifting from De Boer, Wahl and Munich. De Boer late on the brakes, almost into Hedstrom. Hedstrom didn't have as much of a margin as I thought. De Boer up the inside at the bottom of the hill. Can't quite make it stick. Taps the back of Hedstrom. Hedstrom will know he's there. Andrea De Boer's looking great this weekend.
Yeah, he's looking fantastic. We saw a lot of pace from him in Silverstone as well. So both him and his brother, they are really on fire this year.
Hedstrom's going to take this one. Target time of Karai was 2:47.1. And Hedstrom goes 2:46.6, so he goes faster. But Karai would have been third in that with his time, so only Hedstrom and De Bourg beat him. Nicely done, early joke for Hedstrom off the start. Sees him take the win from De Bourg, Waal, Munich and Walfridson. Here's the split. Karai stays third, Eekelen sixth, Mandy August is in eighth, and we've got one race to come. But remember, that race is populated by 5 very quick drivers indeed. Can Hedstrom hold on?
Peter, a brilliant battle there between you and Andrea. How was it from your point of view?
All time, this fucking guy is behind me. He pushed me all time.
Okay, apologies for any language you may have heard there. Better luck for you in Q3. Back to you guys.
Well, sorry about that, Peter. Not in the greatest mood there, Dan.
No, I don't think he was too happy maybe about De Bourg's contact on the last lap.
Well, it's hardly a big contact. I mean, not in my mind anyway. You know, we've seen way worse.
No, yeah, we definitely have. But of course, one thing you've got to bear in mind is the adrenaline that these guys, you know, come off the track in, and he may not have been in his sort of right frame of mind compared to what he normally would be if he wasn't so pumped full of adrenaline.
Yeah. We've seen it before, haven't we, from him this year? He's not the greatest record with post-race interviews at the minute, so perhaps we won't interview Peter, and then maybe he'll remember to mind his language when he's on the television. Second time this year, Peter, consider that a warning. This is the contact which he wasn't happy about, although I mean, he locked the wheels up. Was there even contact? I'm not sure.
I think we see it coming down here now. There was a little tap here, there, but it's rallycross.
It's rallycross. It is rallycross. Hedstrom takes it. He leads. We've got one race in Euro Q2 to go. Couple of cars on the grid, couple of flags in the background, plenty of fans here. They're waiting for these guys, and then of course the World RX runners who are coming up next. There's Larson, who of course is a World RX winner in an ex-World RX World Champion car. That's Ekstrom's car from winning the 16 title. Sondre Evjen's in there in a car that Kristoffersen has driven and run. Tiedemann, World Championship rally driver, here for fun, having a lot of fun it seems in P4 and a Beetle.
Impressive stuff by Tiedemann when you consider the age of the car compared to the ones around him.
You'd like to see him in something more modern, wouldn't you? Well, do you know what? I wouldn't, because I love Per Eklund, and I think it's great that he's here running cars. That's mega. But Tiedemann out there sending it. Didn't go quite so well once you got to the final stages of the UK. But the lineup for this one, from left to right for you guys at home, is Thomas Brindersen. Okay, right to left now. Thomas Brindersen, Sondre Evjen, Robin Larsen, Pontus Tiedemann and JB De Bourg. So let's see the tactics of the start from these guys. Revs are up, final race of Q2 for Euro RX Norway. Great start by Larsen. Evjen gives a bit of room, Brindersen has to give up, they go on the brakes. JB De Bourg goes Joker, Tiedemann with a last minute decision. Larsen's got the whole shot on the standard lap, Brindersen's up underneath him, Evjen in the side of Brindersen. He was out of control on the gravel, just about manages to hold on to it. I think the cars are okay. So it's Larsen, Brindersen, Evjen on the standard lap, and De Bourg and Tiedemann on the Joker.
This is the first time we've seen Robin out in front without any traffic, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do.
And comparative pace to JB De Bourg as well, who for me made a good Joker decision. Whereas Tiedemann, to be fair, Tiedemann made a last minute one, but when 3 cars have beaten you into turn 1, he's probably lost less time going Joker last minute than he has getting in traffic.
Yeah, especially when it comes to, you know, the dust that we're seeing now as well, because the track's drying out. Dust is a hamperage as well as the concertina effect of when you're braking into the corners.
So Larsen leads. They'll be looking at the time back to De Bourg with a very keen eye. 4.1 seconds at the minute. Just keep an eye on that and see if that gap goes up or not, because that's about what you need to get the Joker out clean. Brindersen's going with him. You can hear the gravel rattling against the Armco barriers down the bottom of the hill there. Larsen, typical flair in his driving. Through the long right and then up. Of course, he used to run a home-built Audi. This is an XEKS car. Not that a home-built car wasn't good. He used it to win Argentina, didn't he, in the World Championship?
Yeah, so a different bit of kit, of course, looking the same on the outside, but I mean, I'm not sure what the sort of difference is between the cars, but I'm sure this car he's driving now is a lot more up-to-date than the one he had.
Yeah, certainly involvement, of course, with Ekstrom's squad from Audi Sport and so on. Maybe not back in 16, but we know that that car has had a fair few developments added to it over the years. For JB De Bourg, already lost 4/10 and loses another 5 now, drops back to 4.9. So Larson knows he's safe. Brinderson is borderline safe. So they're going to have the Joker this time round. So Larson's going to get out clear. Watch this Joker. Here we go. Early on the handbrake, full gas. Brinderson a bit tidier behind me. He's going to come out in front of De Borg. Borg slots in behind. So it's Larson, Brinderson, De Borg. Evjen and Tiedemann, all these guys quick. They're all chasing down our current pace setter with a 2:46.6. That's Peter Hedström. Judging by the pace they've been setting, I think they're potentially, they're going to do it. They're a second a lap quicker in some cases. So Larson comes around to take the checker flag and the session. 2:42.2. Robin Larson goes first by 4.3, nearly 4.4 seconds. Larson takes it from Brinderson, De Borg and Evjen, just trying to see who's quicker. They are all quicker. So all 5 cars, Larson, Brinderson, De Borg, Evjen and Tiedemann will slide to the top of the table. Here you go. Bang. Nicely done by all those drivers. So the top 5 from this one will be the top 5 tomorrow again. Great job by then. Looking back at the previous session, it was Brinderson from Evjen and Larson. And Larson, with that win, will move himself up into P2, but Brinderson with a first and a second will be the overnight TQ. So Larson will move to second overnight.
So second overnight and a qualifying session win for you this afternoon. I know you were frustrated this morning. Has that performance just then done anything to quell those frustrations? Did you feel a bit better?
Yeah, it was a really good start now, and then I just could focus on the lines and everything. The gravel was really bumpy now, so we tried some new things on the suspension, and it was a little bit different to drive, but it worked well.
And we just saw so much speed from you there as well, around 4 seconds quicker than anyone else. What more can we expect from you tomorrow?
Yeah, more.
A little bit more of everything. Thank you very much, well done.
Yeah, typical Robin, you can expect more send. It was good send in the Joker at both occasions. Of course, I would say the Joker in Q1 was perfect. That was Tiedemann with a last-minute decision, hung out to dry in turn 1. He really had to go Joker. Evjen almost takes out Brinderson down.
Yeah, I mean, he had to really get on the gas there to save himself from going off the track, but unfortunately tagging Brinderson. But luckily, there wasn't really too much time lost for Brinderson and no damage to either car.
Larson untroubled out front. And a P3 and a P2, I say, moves him up into second place overnight. So Brinderson and Evjen chasing it down. We've got a great race on our hands tomorrow. There's a number of drivers who are running at the very sharp end of Euro RX. Well, there you go. That's what you do. So when you're in a quarry, you get a lorry, you park it, and you stand in the back of it. Seems a decent enough place to watch for me. Perhaps they can provide us for one for next time. Right, let's take a look at the standings at the end of Q2 for Euro RX. Brinderson leads from Larson. Sondre Evjen is third. JB De Borg is fourth. Then it's Tiedemann, Andrea De Borg, Peter Hedström, Rennie Munich. All the guys we'd expect to be there. Alex Val's in 9th place. Tamas Karai 10th, Mikko Ikonen and Lucas Walfridsson. So I think that's the same 12 that were in there previously, but maybe not in that order. Either way, it's going to be a great set of semis tomorrow because they've got 2 more sessions to go yet. Nothing's done and dusted, but I can't pick a winner in Euro at the moment. It's a bit too tight at the top. So Euro RX done for Q2, done for day 1. We're not doing a third session for them here. We've got enough time on Sunday. So if you want to join us tomorrow, you'll be able to see all of Q3 as one broadcast, all of Q4, and then you need to check your local TV listings if you want to watch the semis and the finals. So it depends where you are as to whether you can watch it online. FIA World Rallycross website, and then it's /TV_listings if you want to know where you can watch tomorrow. And of course you need to watch the finals because it's going to be mega. Dan, on to World RX. What are we thinking?
I mean, it's a tough one to call, isn't it? We saw some guys with not the best of runs, but then Niklas coming out and showing everyone what he can do. So I want to see Niklas do it again. Yeah,
I've got to be honest, I'm quite liking the idea of Niklas, a Niklas result this weekend, having had 6 weeks in pretty much in a hospital bed. But here we go then, on to Q2 for World RX. Race 1, Ollie Bennett, Yanis Balmanis and Guillaume de Ridder. So De Ridder is going to be keen to avoid contact with Balmanis. Balmanis had contact with Hansen, which started a chain reaction. He flew in the start machine and took out De Ridder in turn 1. He got a reprimand for it. It's his birthday today. Come on, Yannis, let's get a birthday-style result. And De Ridder, I'm looking for a change of luck for him too. Great start by Balmanis. What's he going to do? Moves across, tries to shut the door on Bennett, goes on the brakes. De Ridder, last-minute decision, and what do you think about that? Could have maybe committed to that earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is partly down to what I was saying earlier, where you have to make the plan for the Joker lap before you leave the start. So he would have been hoping the two guys in the on the inside would have been going to the Joker lap, and then he could have cut under. But then once you brake and you see that they're not going, you have to go because, you know, you have to split the strategy.
Yeah, you don't want to win. Exactly. If you want to stand any chance of beating them, you can't go the same way they've gone. So Balmanis is now in need of a really good result. Balmanis won Super 1600 here. I think it was 2014, but it was on his birthday. He's currently in 16th place, having had that DNF. So Balmanis doesn't just need, you know, some results. He needs absolutely mega results. If he wants to get into the top 12, he's only actually 6 qualifying points off the top 12. He'd have to take Yanni Parson and his teammate out of the top 12 to do that. But Dan, the points are heavily biased towards being at the top of the standings, and that's where he's got to be.
Yeah, he is going to want to be in, you know, the top 3 positions, because then you get yourself that bit of a points gap. But of course, he's got a bit of a, you know, clear track for himself now, so he could potentially do it. But then, you know, the damage that he had in Q1, he's lost himself the track time, which he would have wanted in Q1 too. So he may not be able to keep up the pace. We'll have to see.
Bennett's currently in 15th, so only 1 place in front of Balmanis, and Bennett finished that last one, but seemingly off the pace a bit. Made the semi-finals last time out. Balmanis sweeps around that bottom corner, doesn't really touch the curbs at all. The curbs here are massive, aren't they?
Yeah, they are like big teeth here. If you hook the wheel on a curb, it's so easy to cause damage or a puncture. So you can sort of go, you can afford to go halfway up them. If you go any higher, then there is so much risk involved.
It's very hard for us to describe. It's one of those things you kind of need to see for yourselves. We'll maybe try and take a photo of something up against the curb. Balmanis with a great Joker lap look. Super tidy and committed on the way in. Hooks a wheel over the curb. De Ridder's done well too. To give De Ridder, who was P17 with the DNF in the first one, on the same points as Balmanis, and also looking for a top 12 slot. So both these guys are going to have to fight in every session to get it done. And of course, the better the results in this one, the faster the drivers they'll be up against in Q3 tomorrow morning. Over the crest, round the long right-hander. Balmanis is going to set our World RX target time. Takes the checkered flag. 2:42.3. Very good indeed. So that would have been enough to put him. He would have been P2 overall in Euros in that last session. But more importantly, 2:42.3 would have seen him up in 4th place in Q1 in World. So that is a great time by Balmanis. The track is dry and pretty clean. It could still develop a little more. 2:44.6 would have seen De Ridder would have seen him up in 9th place. So both those guys have done a good job there. And Bennett into the 2:48.1, pretty similar to the previous run, only a 10th difference. So Balmanis has taken it. It would have been enough for 4th in Q1. He's got a fight on his hands if he wants to make the semis on his birthday weekend.
Yannis, firstly, happy birthday. Been wanting to say that to you live on air all day. Secondly, well done. I imagine that was a relief after this morning and everything that went on in that race. A 2:42 as well. It's a very good time. How pleased are you? How satisfied are you with qualifying 2?
Yeah, with qualifying 2, I'm quite okay. I made 1 or 2 larger, smaller mistakes, but obviously I'm now just getting used to the track on the car, because obviously we have some new development on the car, but it looks like it's working. Also the track condition is changing and it's getting better and better, but yeah, but about the first answer for your first question, thank you about the birthday, so at least something good today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, enjoy your birthday evening and best of luck for tomorrow.
Yes, thank you.
So Baumanis saying there's some new developments on the car. This was the start. We know Bennett starts well. Baumanis gives him sort of 3 warnings that he's coming across, which he maybe didn't do in the first race. But I think he just misjudged it in race 28. He clipped Timmy. It was but a tenth of a second, 150 clicks an hour. You know, he's unlucky, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very unlucky to have caught the front of Timmy, and I think it was just one of those racing incidents. He was expecting maybe Timmy to be that little bit further behind because Timmy was braking for the corner.
Checked up a bit more, yeah. Nicely done on the Joker lap. Both him and Derrida with good times, but particularly Baumanis with what I'll say would have been a 4th best time. But track conditions are changing. He's going to be desperate that it doesn't compound his results, the track getting any faster. Waiting on one car for the next one. There's an onboard looking Christian Sabo. Sabo last time made a very quick last-minute decision to go to the Joker, and that saw him behind Parsonen, who's in this one, and he lost some time. So Sabo needs a better run at this. Let's see who's lining up alongside him. Cyril Raymond on the inside, Yanni Parsonen, Christian Sabo, they were neck and neck in the previous run, and Ghislain Chicheret, who jumped the start. So Ghislain needs a really good run in this. See they're all around that crucial 12th place. Remember, the top 12 make the semis. Sabo clunks the car. Did he take second, Dan? We think second gear start for Sabo. It's flat at the start, but immediately downhill. Good start, Sabo, but Parsonen too. Shuts the door on Parsonen. Raymond's up his inside. There's going to go Joker. So you see goes Joker. In fact, 3 cars to Joker. Sabo's got a hold position this time. And he does, so Sabo holds his line. Chicheret is tidy too. Parson's going to try and get around the outside, but he won't do that in turn 2. Gets himself out of the dirt. Parson's going to lose time, slides really wide. Drops a load of seconds there. So Sabo's got what he wanted. Cyril Raymond now, you either respond and shut the door, or you go for 4 laps. Dan, what's it to be?
I mean, Sabo's pace at the moment is a little bit unknown because of him being caught behind Parsonen in Q1. No one really knows the sort of speed he's got. So these guys are going to have to really watch the sector times compared to what he's done previously.
I have to say, Sabo not looking at his best through that last section there. 2 sideways over the crest, understeering the hairpin. We know how good he is. He's absolutely class. Raymond's gone Joker, lap 1. Cyril Raymond has gone Joker with Sabo. Is he going to be quick enough? Cyril Raymond is on the brakes early, checks the car up, holds it to the apex. And Sabo, even with those mistakes, was almost on him. So bang up the right decision from GCK.
Yeah, you called it there, Andrew, didn't you? Saying he should go to cover it off. So, yeah, fantastic job by him. He looked like he ran a bit wide there, and Sabo maybe had to back out. I saw a lot of dust flying on the camera lens from Raymond. But you can see the track is starting to get really rutted there.
Yeah, we always get a big hold, don't we, over that crest left-hander where they're dragging the brake against and pulling rocks out. On board with Sabo now towards turn 1. He'd be brave to have a look here. It is possible. We've seen it done before. And he does have a look up the inside. So Raymond holds on. Sabo, though, is all over him. Can't find it. And, yeah, now it's tricky, isn't it? Because he can follow him and lose less time potentially than trying a pass. But he desperately wants to go past and save a couple of seconds.
But there's such a big risk. He could have try and go for a pass and then really lose, a matter of seconds if they get in a really big fight. Especially on a track like this where it's so hard to pass. You have to be really decisive with your moves.
So Sabo, watch for the inside line at turn 1, because I think that's the only place this might be on. He had a little cheeky look last time. Here we go, Sabo over the crest. Maybe further back from Cyril Raymond this time. Shows himself in the mirrors again, but Cyril's wise to that. Does a lot of karting, Cyril, working down. Is it Paul Ricard? I think he works at training people to code, proper kart racing. He's very, very good indeed.
Yeah, fantastic driver, Cyril is, and done a lot of circuit racing himself as well, so he's wise to the racecraft.
Frustratingly good, isn't he, Dan, Cyril?
Don't talk about that.
Cyril Raymond up towards the crest and into the left-hander. Final corner now. Aiming for the time of Baumanis, 2:42.3. He's going to be close. 2:43.4. So he goes P2, 1.1 seconds slower. So at the minute, Baumanis leads, but that's still great tactics from GCK Academy there. Cyril Raymond takes it from Christian Sabo. Ghislain Chicheret and Yanni Parsonen. Sabo won the race to the Joker. Cyril Raymond won the tactical battle and held on to P2, but it's still Baumanis at the top of the table. This was the start, took us through Szabo.
Yeah, so Szabo getting a fantastic launch away and already getting past him by the first couple metres, and then opting to go for the Joker lap here. Very lucky to not be pushed out by Shisha there. I thought Shisha was on him enough to maybe knock him slightly wide, but thankfully for Szabo, that wasn't the case and able to get out. But then Cyril responding immediately.
And this is the onboard from Szabo at the merge. And I mean, that's, we've seen closer. I've seen a few like, oh, no way, like when people really slam the door. Would have been frustrating for Szabo. I think the previous lap wasn't his tidiest work. No,
he was, you know, maybe just finding the ruts that are out there that weren't there in the first qualifying, and that just unsettled him a bit. But Cyril didn't have the problem, and he won the race.
Yeah, nicely done by Cyril Raymond. This is what we've been saying about you have to respond. You don't always, if you know you've got the pace, and also traffic, you know. So we say you have to respond. You don't have to, but it seems in recent events that if you don't respond immediately, you just give them more of an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it depends on the pace of the drivers that have jokered around you. So if you feel that the guy that has jokered is slightly quicker than you, then you need to go in to close the door, the window of opportunity for him to be able to leapfrog.
Particularly, I guess, if you're on very similar lap times, you know the tiniest mistake from you and they've got you. Yeah, if you know you've got a couple of tenths a lap, like for instance, last year we saw Kristoffersen waiting. Yeah, he would wait and just go when he felt like it. But Laura's actually managed to get a hold of Cyril now. So let's head down and catch up with Cyril Raymond.
Well, Cyril, a brilliant battle between you and Christian Szabo in that race. Talk me through the tactics to take the Joker lap on lap 2 and make sure that you were out in front of him then. That was brilliant.
Yeah, the tactic was to go in the normal track for the first lap and then push really, really hard. Szabo is very fast on the track, so we took the decision to take in the Joker lap in lap 2. Yeah, I think it was the good trajectory, so yes, I'm happy, but tomorrow will be a big day for the team, so keep pushing.
Yeah, it was a winning tactic. Well done, best of luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Cyril Raymond, you can see, really, really enjoys a win. Fair enough. And as he said, they've got a bit of work to do tomorrow. He's 11th. He's had a good season so far. And he'll be hoping for more of the same here. Kevin Hansen getting himself ready, getting himself fired up. Okay, let's see who's up against. On the inside, Timo Scheider, 6th in Q1. Baciuska with a great result. First time out in the McGann was 7th. Anton Markland was 8th. Doran was 9th. Kevin Hansen was 10th. So that is the order in which they line up. This could be interesting. Marshals leave the grid. Keen to see what Doran does. We know how spectacular he is in the Joker lap. Here we go. Pretty even start. Doran, Kevin Hansen on the outside. Markland seems to have edged him on the run to turn 1. Hansen's going to go Joker. Definitely Markland's inside. In contact. Oh, Kevin's going to get the gas around the outside. Now he's going to check up. Try inside. He can't. Markland holds the line. Great driving by Anton Markland there to hold that position. You're on board with Kevin Hansen in a dust cloud. Can't see anything. Who's got the whole shot on the standard lap down at the bottom of the hill? We can't see. It's Scheider. So Scheider in front of Baciuska and Doran.
Yeah, so Markland there, fantastic move, getting himself up the inside and just levering Kevin out, not even letting him go around the outside. He just put his McGann in the way, and Kevin wasn't able to do anything. Yeah,
breaks deep past the apex, so he knows he can't get him inside, can't get him outside. Tidily done. So Doran now is in P3 and has got to decide whether to go Joker. He does, but Baciuska's decided to. Doran's going to have a look up the inside. Getting into the side door of Baciuska, but they're both going to get overlapped. So Markland and Kevin have done them both in a lap. That's great pace. Liam Doran's out in the loose stuff, going to try and cut back, get onto the inside line. Too dirty out there to find any traction. He's in behind Baciuska, not going to be able to get past there. So now only Scheider hasn't Jokered, and with the pace of Markland and Hansen, you'd have to think he might go next time round.
Yeah, so Scheider before, obviously getting on the inside of the two guys behind him off of the start for the Joker lap, and just able to hold him behind him for the rest of the race.
Baciuska spins to the inside. He's broken a rear wheel. Potentially the rear right's facing out, so Baciuska's got damage on the rear. Scheider hasn't Jokered, so Scheider stays out. The gap is 4.0, so it's pretty borderline at the minute. Kevin Hansen 4.9. Need to watch that gap for the rest of his that's gone up. So Scheider's team looks like they made the right decision. He's taken 2/10 off them, Dan. He's got to hold that kind of pace if he wants to get out in the Joker first.
Yeah, on the last lap there, Scheider was actually half a second quicker than Markland. So Scheider's showed an impressive pace with a 38.4, but which is again faster than Balmanis as well.
The dust up through that section, the left over the crest, is pretty heavy. Scheider, though, with nothing in his windscreen, coming down towards the first corner, it's 4.4 seconds the gap. He keeps it tidy on the way in, a little bit of rotation. He's got this easily. Scheider on the gas now, four-wheel drive down the hill, 600 horsepower into the next corner. Markland slots in behind him, Kevin Hansen P3. So Timo Scheider, 2 races in a row. The All-Inkle squad have done some great Joker lap tactics. He squeezed these 2 very guys in Q1, pushed them off wide, forced them to Joker on that one, took that win, and in this one he's done it again. He's held the whole shot on the inside line that time. 5 cars, can't force them all to Joker. Timo Scheider's going to take it. Is he going to take the top time? Balmanis leads at the moment. That's bottom right of your screen. I think he's done it up towards the finish line. He has 2:41.5. Scheider goes fastest, 2:41.555. That's a very motorsport time, that is. So Scheider takes it from Markland and Kevin Hansen. Great stuff. Baciuska, not so good. He'll be disappointed with that. We'll have to have a look back at turn 1. Of course, we saw Liam lean on the inside of him in the Joker lap. The damage may have come there, but Baciuska DNF. Liam 2:45, then a 2:43 for Kevin, 2:42 for Markland, but it's a 2:41.555. Timo Scheider edges Balmanis for the top of Q2. We've got just 1 race left in this session.
Well, thanks, chaps. I'm indeed down here with a very happy Timo Scheider after that one. Once again, forcing the others into the Joker lap early. It's clearly a tactic that's working for you.
Yeah, definitely. So it was 50-50 to say, going straight or turning in turn 1. Had a good start, turned in quite clear to turn 1, so I kept my inner line, so went the normal line. So that worked out in the end, so it's quite nice to have another win in this heat. But yeah, this is how a weekend can start, so luckily it was like this.
Yeah, 2 wins from 2 races so far. What can we expect tomorrow?
Well, I think we are lacking a bit of speed in free practice, but Q1 and Q2 showed now a bit improvement, so I'm quite optimistic for tomorrow as well.
Best of luck for tomorrow. Well done today.
Well, the time Timo Scheider just did would have been enough to see him P2 in Q1, so if they were lacking speed. This was Markland and Kevin Hansen. I don't think they lost too much time there. Okay, a little bit, Dan. Not tons, though. Not enough to beat Scheider, I don't think. What do you reckon?
No, I think
Kevin maybe.
Kevin lost time, but Markland there wouldn't have lost too much. He might be compromised himself on the exit, but it wouldn't have been enough to get Scheider.
So watch for Baciuska and Doran here, because I think the damage is potentially done here. So Doran's up the inside, look, and he comes into that rear right, and that's the corner that collapses. I'm not blaming Liam for the damage. It's, he's tried the move. He ends up outside, look, and there here I think the wheel collapses and fires Baciuska off, so he breaks a tie rod or something on the rear. Yeah,
we could see him sliding through the corner there, and I think he maybe hit a rut, and that was it. The wheel was broken.
That's Markland with a view of the leader, Scheider. Here it is from outside. So a little bit of a gap for Timo Scheider. Maybe if Markland and Hansen hadn't had the problem in turn 1, they might have been closer, but that is Rallycross. Scheider's team have played the tactics perfectly so far this weekend. So Baciuska's car getting recovered. Nicely done by Scheider. So we're seeing people go, Dan, quicker than last time, but Scheider's gone 2.2 seconds quicker than he went out last time. Who else have we got in there? Balmanis, he doesn't count because he retired, didn't he? Markland 2:42.3. Let's see what he did. 2:44.5. In fact, so both those guys have gone 2.2 quicker. So settings or track?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I think the track is very similar to how it was in Q1, especially when they've been working on the track in between the 2 races. It then means that they have the same, amount of laps on the track because of the amount of cars that we have racing here this weekend. The same amount of laps that have gone on the track that have cut up the ruts.
We're going to have a look at Kevin Hansen's on board from the start. So this is Kevin off the line. 4 cars to his right. At this point now, he's going on, going Joker, moves in, and oh no, Markland's there. Markland's going to tap sideways. Now he's waiting. So initially you'd go on the gas, then he realises Dudley Markland potentially is going to go deep, and he waits to go inside, and that doesn't happen for him either. So Kevin was P10 in Q1. This is one of those frustrating weekends where it's not coming to him. You've got to be patient.
Yeah, I think there on the way into the Joker, he would have been hovering that brake pedal, probably even slightly on the handbrake, just to try and rotate the car around to get the undercut. But then again, contact on the front with Markland just pushed him wide.
Didn't work out. No, it did work out. Oh dear. Look, there was a flag. Look, she's just looked up and the flag's gone. That's brilliant. It's behind you. There we are. He hands it back. Look, chap on the right. What a gent. She's going to rebuild the flag. And there is a happy Baccarat Blue fan. I wonder if we can get a replay of that. The flag disintegrated. There is Baccarat. So Baccarat on board. He knows they're up there. He's feeling the pressure. I know he is. He's all smiles. I know Baccarat is feeling the pressure of the whole year. But here we go. Here's a replay of the flag. Okay, lady on the left with the dark hair and the sunglasses waves the flag. Look. Oh, hang on. It's going to go back the other way, and then it's a big off. Look. Oh, it took its time. It was that crash started a long time back. Then she looks up. Where's it gone? Another quick glance. Look at it. Oh, she can't believe it.
Should we blame the spotters for that one?
Yeah, definitely. Shouldn't have waved it so hard so early. Shocker. There they are, look. They're going mad for it. Hold on to your flags, Baccarat Blues. Your man's in this one. Here's the lineup for the final race of Q2. Niklas Gronholm won his first ever qualifying session in Q1 and is inside home hero Andreas Baccarat. Timo Timosjanov had a tiny squabble that potentially cost him that P2. The Hyundai looks very strong here. Timmy Hansen did not have a good race and he's fourth after Q1. Kevin Abbring did brilliantly on his first Rallycross outing in the World Championship to sit fifth. Here we go. Great start, Gronholm on the inside, not so good Baccarat. Timosjanov maybe going to edge him too, so Gronholm's got the inside line. Abbring goes from out wide to tight. Oh, that's good. Timosjanov goes wide. Baccarat having a look at the inside. Tags Gronholm on the exit, but can't hold on. He runs wide. Abbring up to P2. Abbring goes P2, and Timmy Hansen's had a shocker again. Timmy in the back of Baccarat. You ride on board with Baccarat now down the hill, but it is out front Niklas Gronholm and P2 Kevin Abbring.
I really thought we were going to see Abbring going to the Joker lap there because, he was on the outside. It sort of made sense for him to, but he braked early and got himself in, and then the squabble between the other guys, he managed to get himself up into P2.
Great awareness from a guy who has no racecraft. He's from a WRC background, and he's clocked that on the run down to turn one and done a brilliant job to slot in. Where's Baccarat go? Baccarat goes wide, goes Joker. That gives Timmy Hansen some breathing space, but I think this is about Timosjanov versus Gronholm. Timmer on the inside has got Baccarat already.
Yeah, Timosjanov has shown excellent pace here. We saw what he did earlier, the fastest lap of the day, and then caught up behind Baccarat, but what could he have done if he wasn't behind Doran? But we're going to see what he could do now, because he's already catching up onto the back of Timmy Hansen.
4.3 seconds of gap from Gronholm's gone up to 4.5. Gronholm's flying Hansen up the inside of Abbring. It was, yeah. So Hansen puts a pass on Abbring. Abbring was sideways in the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. He'd been frustrated to see Timmy come by, but that's a racecraft thing again. He lost exit speed and Timmy edged him. So Timmy Hansen now holds on. Abbring's going to go Joker, try and protect the position from Baccarat behind him, but I think they'll both get him. Still a good drive by Kevin Abbring for ES Motorsport. Even fifth here would still be mega. So out of the dust, unsighted and sideways. No such problems for Gronholm. Going to have to Joker on this next one. Can he do it now? I think he can.
Yeah, he's been pulling the gap on Timosjanov there. Gone up to 4.5 seconds, which we've seen 4.8 now again. So Niklas Gronholm is on an absolute mission.
He is indeed. The Finn is back in fine form. He won Abu Dhabi for about an hour before the stewards decided that he hadn't. He's won Q1 here and he's set himself up for a brilliant weekend. Edoc's fastest lap of the day is Timmy Hansen, who sends it big time. Has he got enough to beat Timmer? It's going to be close. No! Timosjanov beats Timmy Hansen. We thought he had the pace. Now, can these guys beat Timo Scheider's time? Scheider with a 2:41.555 holds the session at the minute. So it's Gronholm from Timosjanov. Timmy Hansen is in third place. Gronholm up and over through the dust. Got to keep it close on the left-hand side. This is for the last race of Saturday. Round the right, he rides the curbs. Full gas now to the line. There's the target time. Can he do it? He can. 2:40.5. Niklas Niklas Gronholm wins his second career session on the same day here in Hell. Gronholm has won both Q1 and Q2 after 6 weeks practically in hospital. He comes back and knocks it out of the park again. He is the overnight TQ. That is outrageous, Dan.
Yeah, fantastic job by him, and he is going to really be riding on this confidence through to tonight.
Brilliant job, Niklas Gronholm. We said welcome back this morning, but that is just incredible. Niklas takes it from his teammate Timo Timosjanov, Timmy Hansen backward, and Kevin Abbring doing well. Lost a bit of time somewhere. Scheider gets P2, look. So Gronholm, Scheider, then Timosjanov, Baumanis look up in 4th. So Yannis has done a great job of recovering from a terrible Q1. Markland 5th, Timmy Hansen goes 6th, Kevin Hansen 7th, Cyril Raymond is 8th. So random results through here, but not so random for Niklas Gronholm. He has won both sessions on his return to the World Championship. What a day.
Niklas, you are absolutely flying, sitting TQ overnight. And we need to say it once more, 6 weeks out with a complicated appendicitis as well. You must be delighted to be coming in this hot.
Yeah, it seems to be going my way. I had a small clutch issue in the start, so really lucky to not get a jump start. That's why I made a huge launch. So yeah, but otherwise on the track, it's. I don't know if the conditions are suiting me or what, but it seems to be working well.
So tomorrow then, pressure on you. You're sitting TQ. You came into this with no pressure at all, coming back from illness. But now you know it's on your shoulders, isn't it? What are you going to do?
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, I think it doesn't affect my approach. Still, I'm trying to do my best in every qualification, and then yeah, like I said earlier, in the semi and the final, anything can happen. So yeah, we just need to keep our heads down and keep working and to try to maintain this speed.
You've certainly got the speed. Thank you very much. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks.
Niklas Gronholm said it himself, Dan, that was super close on the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't realised it at the time, but yeah, now you said it, you can see he was lucky there not to get the jump, but we're going to see here where Kevin Abbring got himself. Yeah,
that was contact from back in the back of Gronholm, which we might see from this angle. Yeah, there you see the tag. Abbring gets underneath him. I'd like to see the pass Timmy put on Kevin, and say props to Kevin as well for the tactics in turn 1. He must have had a problem because he dropped 13 seconds on the last lap, so where did he have a problem? I don't know. Something went wrong for Abbring right at the end of the race. This way, okay, so that's Timmy in front of him. While we're looking at the timing screen, good one, Coley and Rook. But Gronholm, look, absolutely brilliant. He really, if you were writing like a movie and the storyline was the guy's in hospital for 6 weeks and he makes an amazing comeback, your script's been written today. Absolutely stunning work by Niklas Gronholm. Here are the standings then at the end of day 1. Niklas Gronholm with 2 wins sees himself at the top of the table. Timo Timosjanov with 2 third places is second. So Scheider nicks third by being second in Q2. Didn't have such a good result in the first one, but look at backward. He was second in Q1, didn't work out his way at all in Q2. Hansen, Mark and Kevin Hansen, Cyril Raymond. But look at the gaps at the top. 100 down to 16 points back to P2. Gronholm's done a huge job today. Because of the random results for everyone behind him, he has a massive advantage going into tomorrow. We could see Gronholm on TQ, and that pole in semi-final 1 is going to be crucial. Abbring is 9th. Baumanis has made it up into 10th with 1 good run. You can see P4 for him in Q2 made all the difference. Sabo is 11th. Doran is 12th. So Baciuska, look, has got some work to do. But have a look down the right-hand side there. Baciuska, Shisharit, Parsonen are all within a few points. In fact, even Derrida is only 7 points off the back of being in the semis. And in fact, if you look at Abbring down to Doran, 67, 66, 66. There's something about the 666 here, isn't there? Could it be that we're in hell? It's so close. So it really, Dan, those point standings at the back, we saw Baumanis there. He was in P16 and has gone up into the semis. But there's a load of people at the back there who are not having great results. And with one really good result like Baumanis has done there, any of those guys could make it in.
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing the normal sort of consistency that we've seen at other places where you kind of know roughly who your top 5 are going to be, just not quite what order. the only real consistent one has been Timo Jarnhoff and Niklas Gronholm.
Yeah.
Apart from that, everyone else is like scattered everywhere. But I guess that's part of the beauty of this track. It's such a tough first corner with the Joe collapse and everything else, and then a technical track where it's so easy to make mistakes that you can have one good run and someone else not so good, and it just makes all the difference.
Well, 2 good runs for Gronholm sees him at the top of the table, I'll say, with a healthy lead. But one thing that could trip him up, of course, is track conditions, because we have our grid reverser. So we're going to randomise the grids and see whether the fastest guys will go first or last. I know that they're going to be hoping for last, looking at the way the track's played out today. But that's to take nothing away from that last race. I think they're the 5 quickest guys out there. But let's take a look and see whether they're going to go slowest first or fastest first in the morning for Q3. Here we go. Need some sort of noise on here. I promised something last night. I can't remember what it was, but it's going to be... it's slowest first. It's slowest first. So there we go. That is standard, and I'm not going to lie, I'm quite pleased about that for a number of reasons, but particularly because I think Niklas Gronholm could maybe... I don't know. Now, Dan, obviously we remain completely unbiased, but what would you think if Niklas Gronholm won this weekend? You'd be unbiased.
Yes, I would be. I would be happy for Niklas.
Okay, look, we don't mind. Look, okay, we are unbiased, but you know what we love? We love a good story. Now, 3 years ago here, we had Bakkerud and Timo Jarnhoff. Timo would have taken his first win. Bakkerud was going to take the first clean sweep. Timo got a puncture. Bakkerud got it. We love a good story. We're not that biased. I love a good story, and if Gronholm could take it, I'd be absolutely made up. Bottom of your screen tomorrow, 08:50 CET. It's an early one. It's early for us to think of us tonight when we have to leave the bar early to come into work and bring you this fantastic rallycross action. Early night, I promise. It's an early one, but that's because we've got all of Q3 and all of Q4 for tomorrow, so we cannot wait. Who's your money on?
I'm non-biased.
No, biased. Are we going down to the paddock, or are we going to finish? What are we up to, guys? Okay, we're not going down to the paddock. That's the decision we've made. So have a great evening, everyone. Early night, remember, 08:50 CET. We'll see you for Q3 tomorrow.